Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grinjinski, but you could call me Grizzer. It's way easier to remember and way easier to say, and this is the spot where you can pop in and get caught up on some of the latest news, the headlines, the talk, the tidbits, call it what you want, but if it's about the Cleveland Browns, you probably hear about it on this show because they are our favorite team in the NFL. And then, for no extra charge, we will throw in some takes. Some people like to call them opinions on the news along the way. Thank you to everybody who's liked our previous episodes, all of you who have subscribed to the channel already, and then those of you who get your comments down there in the viewer comments section, not only here on YouTube, but also Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Facebook page, Brown's Latest Podcast Facebook page, lots of comments there, and on X at Grizzer21, Grizzer21. Special thanks to Kelshi for sponsoring our little show. Use the code FANARCHFOOTBALL to get $10 when you trade 10. All right, the biggest day of training camp is in the books, joint practice, and I'll share my biggest takeaways, which my biggest takeaway, not the quarterbacks. Now that the joint practice is in the books, we'll talk about what you need to be watching for in that preseason game against the Bills. There's been some developments. Also, some bold predictions about what will happen on Saturday afternoon. And in the viewer comments, what our quarterback must consistently and accurately do. Okay, there it is. We'll find out momentarily, but first, tracker. And I mean, this kind of means something this time. I still like the 7-on-7s are like, yeah. Remember, quarterbacks can't be hit, so there's still that. But live rush, things are going on. Shedeur, 13 of 23. Deshaun, 12 of 17, 1-1. Dylan Gabriel, 4 for 7. Trying to get that tape out there. Taylor Green, no goose eggs today, baby. 3 for 3 with a home run. No, wait. 3 for 3 with a touchdown. That's a good day in baseball and football. Especially when you're a developmental rookie going up against a really, really good defense in the Buffalo Bills. By the way, they also have a really, really good offense, the Buffalo Bills. But Taylor Green, 3 for 3. Now, the biggest takeaway, though, out of all this, not so much the quarterbacks, the offensive line play. Look at these pockets. This is an out route that Watson threw to Denzel Boston. Look at that. Look at the lane he has to throw in. There's more. Here's another one with Watson. Look at that pocket. This is on that deep ball to Concepcion. Deshaun actually hit a couple of deep balls during the joint practice, but he's able to step up in the pocket, let it rip. And here, look at this one. Check out this pocket. Look at this. Look at that. You could drive a car through that hole. Plenty of room. There's another pass to Concepcion. Plenty of room for Watson to step up and get behind that throw. And the offensive line treated Shedeur well, too. Like, here, take a look. Look at that blocking up front. It's a pass to Boston down the right sideline. And so, to me, this was the biggest takeaway. I mean, this offensive line against a really, really good Buffalo Bills. This was like the number one defense in the league last year. Like, they were really good. Now, different defensive coordinators, they had some changes, new head coach and all that. Joe Brady's now the head coach. And remember, Sean McDermott, that's a guy I said we should have considered, which we would have had he decided to interview for jobs. But he's an older coach, that's why. But anyway, I digress. The offensive line, I mean, you could see it right away when they started. And I was that's the first thing I wanted to see. I want to see, okay, how clean can we keep our quarterback? Because everybody's worried about this offensive line. And I'm watching this offensive line like, man, they got pockets all over. They got more pockets than a pair of Levi's to throw in. And so I was really encouraged by what I saw with the offensive line. Now we have got to build that depth. behind the frontline guys. And so that was really, really nice to see. Now, the quarterbacks. I'm going to show you two graphics, and you're going to say, Dave, they kind of look exactly the same. Well, there's a reason. So Deshaun got the majority of the reps. Remember this. Remember what Monken said. You're going to be able to tell who QB1 is by the reps. And this was the most important day of training camp so far, the joint practice with the Bills. And who got the majority of the reps with the ones? It was Deshaun Watson. And you can't deny that. You can't. It is a fact. And Monken said it. Remember, Monken said it at the beginning of training camp. He said, you'll be able to figure it out. Just pay attention to the reps. And then they go out there on the most important practice of camp. And it was Deshaun Watson who got the majority of the reps, including, I mean, he came out and it was like 6 in a row. Boom, 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 boom. And then Shedeur went out there, and Monken even said, because it was kind of a slow start, but it was weird because he had to come in, it was almost like a tag team situation, and the WWE comes in, and so he took a couple plays for him to get his bearings, and once he settled in, he was fine. But Deshaun Watson, here we go. Ready? Made some good throws, made some bad throws, not bad overall. Shedeur Sanders, you ready? Made some good throws, made some bad throws, not bad overall. I mean, I do feel like many days we're talking about the same quarterback. But back to Deshaun for a minute. Yes, the Concepcion throws he made, found Boston a couple times. I mean, there were some good things, but some red zone struggles. The interception he threw was bad. Again, these interceptions are just bad. It's not like it's good coverage or something like you can't give the credit to I mean, he's just bad. It's like, where are you throwing the ball? He missed Fannin in the end zone. And so he's our QB1. But I just showed you two graphics that literally described two quarterbacks in exactly the same way. And if you're going by the reps, like Monken said, Deshaun Watson will be named QB1 here. I would say Sunday or Monday. I mean, they're gonna need to know going into the dress rehearsal on Thursday against New England. But I've been saying all along, Deshaun Watson would have to be 2 or 3 laps ahead of Shedeur to be named QB1, and to me, he's just not. I mean, you just see a lot of the same things. It's like good throw, oh, bad throw, And then Shedeur, I mean, he only 7 games experience. I thought he held his own against if you want to look at it like that, okay, both quarterbacks held their own against the Buffalo Bills. Okay, well, gotta go with the upside. Gotta go with Shedeur. I mean, I've been saying it all along. But it's going to be Watson. We know that. And I'll tell you what. Of the quarterback situation, the guy who impressed the most was Taylor Green. I mean, to see the way, he threw some tight window passes, threw a touchdown to Tylan Wallace. So it's not, and he had a rushing score. He's running around. He's using those legs. Taylor Green looked really good. So if this is the floor now for Taylor Green, look out. He has done nothing, but it's like when you see him in spurts, he looks so comfortable now in the pocket. He's looking more and more like a passer every day. And so that was the thing for me with the quarterbacks. It was, Taylor Green. He's not going to be a starter. Don't get me wrong. He's still got a long way to go, but he has been making a ton of progress. And Monken talked about it after practice, says he's super smart and just keeps learning with a smile on his face. And so it's coming, man. The Taylor Green train is coming. The other thing that's really good about what happened at the joint practices, our rookie wide receivers, Concepcion and Boston, they look like seasoned veterans already. Like they don't look out of place at all, man. I mean, Boston's a beast. Concepcion is going to be whoever the quarterback, well, Deshaun to start. Whoever's in there at quarterback, Concepcion will be their friend, whether it's jet sweeps, whether it's hitch routes or bubble screens, whatever it is. It's going to be these quick passes, get it in his head. You're going to have a lot of 45 or 50-yard touchdown passes that were in the air for about 4 or 5 yards. They're going to be Dylan Gabriel-type passes that turn into touchdowns with this guy. And then also, I mean, even down the field, stretching the field, Concepcion, I mean, making catches and running after the catch. All of it comes as advertised. And I'm not going to say the D word. Remember the big concern coming in? Well, Judy's got it now. I mean, Judy with the drops. But Concepcion, man, he's doing it all right now and will be a huge part of this offense, as will Denzel Boston. I mean, Jerry Jeudy is kind of like fallen to the wayside. Isaiah Bond will be a big part of this as well, just as we figured going into this. But the one concern, I mean, it's weird because I'm not like concerned about the quarterbacks. I'm not that concerned because I honestly think they can manage a game, either one of them. Like, it's just with the weapons that we have around him and the running game and the way the offensive line held up against the Bills, I'm like, just manage the game. Either one of these guys can do that. So I'm not that concerned about quarterback, but I am starting to get a little concerned about Quinshon Judkins. He might be injury prone. He's got some nagging injury, and now he's been out, didn't take part in the joint practice, trying to get him back up to speed. But I'll tell you what, Dylan Sampson stepped up, man. I'm the only one who loves Dylan Sampson. I loved them all last year. I loved the pick. I loved everything about it. Everybody's, he's not. I mean, he's the offensive player of the year in the SEC. How do you deny that? And man, oh man, he is starting to flash. He's going to be great in this offense. I'm telling you, man, those RB2s in Monken's offense. Told you, fantasy, get them. Handcuff these guys because Judkins is injury prone and Sampson knows what to do with the ball in his hands. So that's where we're at on the offense. I mean, this was a really, really good Buffalo Bills defense. And, I mean, we did not look overmatched at all. Some good things, some bad things, not overmatched. But then there was the defense. The defense knows where it stands now because they went up against the guy who might be the best quarterback in the league right now. I mean, so you know what you're up against. I mean, they made some plays, but Josh Allen was slinging it around the yard. It was the tougher side of the ball. Allen was sharp and efficient. He was accurate. Multiple periods of 11-on-11 work. So the defense got the work over, which was good. It's okay. Because now Mike Rutenberg knows where they stand. He knows where they need help. What didn't help was Alex Wright going down, and it didn't look good. I think that this is going to be long-term because it was during a drill. He was working on a tackle, trying to get around the edge, and his foot just kind of buckled. And if you watch it, I don't like watching those things, but they had to get the card out for him. Couldn't put any pressure on it. And so now, Isaiah McGuire, it's his time to shine. He's got to step up. And I thought Tyson Campbell and Grant Delpit made some plays and stood out on the defensive side of the ball. So, walking away from the defense, the big concern now, there is some, and maybe I jinxed it. Grizzadamus, I just said I'm not worried about that side of the line because we have McGuire and Wright. It's like a 2-in-1 combination. And as soon as I say it, Alex Wright gets hurt. So that's a problemo. We're going to have to find some depth somewhere. These young guys are going to get a shot. So it's going to be something to watch for come Saturday. But little concern. So what are we be watching for on Saturday? Running back depth for sure, because Quinshon Judkins, the Rocket, is going to get a shot. He made a nice block on a blitz, and he's doing some of the little things too. But the Rocket's going to get his chance to shine. But the defensive end depth also. Logan Fado, we haven't heard anything from him. Spencer's brother, we haven't heard anything from him all at camp. Does anybody know if he's still there? This is his shot. He's next man up. If he's around, somebody call him. But I think this is going to be on this game against Buffalo. The defense, I don't think we are going to be bottom of the barrel on edge rushers. I would wrap Jared Verse in bubble wrap. I would not let him out there because you just can't at this point. And tight end, Carson Ryan, man. He's going to have, after Fannon's still working his way back, after the injury, but, trying to get back to his old self. We still haven't found the guy. Remember, I kept saying, Fannin is our Mark Andrews in the Monken offense. We need our Isaiah Likely. It was going to be Joe Royer, but Joe Royer, nowhere to be found, man. That situation. But someone's got to step up, man. Someone's got to figure it out. So you got to be watching that. Let's see if we can find. Blake Whitehart's had some nice days, and there've been guys we got to find somebody. Somebody's got to settle into that spot and be that complement to Harold Fannin Jr. And so those are some of the things to be watching for. But the best thing about the joint practice was this, and Todd Monken said it the best. I think especially the offensive side of the ball, he says it didn't look like we were out of place. It looked like we belonged. And I thought that's exactly it. And so let's watch for that as well on Saturday. The Bills are a Super Bowl contending team, so they have depth, and so whether their twos are in there or not, it's still it's a really good football team. And so that's what I like too. I was just right away watching the way the offensive line was blocking it. The way that I said, man, oh man, I'm like, we don't look overmatched. We don't look like we're like all of that. And then Monken said it after practice. I said, okay, he saw what I saw. You could see it right away, the way our quarterbacks were able to step up in the pocket, and so this, for anybody who wants to try to clown the Browns offensive line, they got to stop. I saw something the other day. The Browns offensive line's ranked 32 out of 30. I'm like, dude, does anybody read anything about anything? These guys, man, call me. All you got to do is call me. I'll clue you in. I'll let you know. This offensive line completely revamped, and they just went up against one of the best defenses in the league, and they did more than hold their own against Buffalo. So very encouraging to see what the offensive line did, and I thought the quarterbacks were, again, it's like they kind of get for the joint practice, I'd give them like a C+, both of them. Like I feel like they did a lot of the same things. Which is great for Shador. That's the thing. And I know it's gonna be Watson, but 2 games. You got 2 games to show me something. You get Jacksonville and Tampa. Show me something. You could show yourself something, like some money, if you go to Kelsey. You could bet NFL. You could trade NFL. I can't use that word. This is different. This is trading. You're purchasing event contracts when you're doing the prediction markets. But you can do everything from who's going to make the playoffs to are the Browns going to win against Buffalo. Do it all. But prediction markets, On Kelce, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. So you can trade lots of different things on Kelce, not only sporting events, but politics and entertainment, all kinds of stuff that you can get in and put some money, buy some contracts. And what you do is you got to download the Kelce app and then use the code FANARCHFOOTBALL. If you do, you'll get $10 when you trade $10. So it's like a wash. So get 10 for trading 10. It's KALSHI, Kelce. Trade on anything 18 and over only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kelce products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kelce.com/regulatory. So Kelce, FanArch Football, you'll get 10 when you trade 10. Now, when you're on Kelce, you make bold predictions, right? when you get your you start purchasing your event contracts, right? You make your investments, and those are bold predictions that you're making. And we got a preseason game coming up, and the developments at the joint practice have changed some of my bold predictions for the game. And I think for sure, Shedeur Sanders is going to be slinging it all over the yards, especially after C.J. Gardner-Johnson yelled out to him and called him the check down king. And so you don't think that's going to have him fired up? And you don't think Monken's going to want to and this Gardner-Johnson wasn't even practicing. He's over flapping his gums, not even practicing. So after hearing that, my bold prediction is Shedeur will be stretching the field a lot against the Bills. Deshaun Watson, I think they'll let him stretch it out a little bit too. He's got to work on it. He's got to get a handle on it. He made a couple nice throws in the joint practice, some deep balls, but he still had a bad pick. We got to get, I mean, Monken, that's what I don't understand. Monken says his number one nemesis are turnovers. And Deshaun just keeps turning it over every practice. Shedeur doesn't turn it over. But Watson gets all the reps. And Monken said, the guy who gets all the reps, you're going to know. Just pay attention to the reps. You're going to know who QB1 is. Just watch the reps. So, despite the nemesis, he still gets the reps. So, I don't know. Sometimes people talk out of both sides of their mouth. But I just, I don't get it. Which brings up my next bold prediction. Watson will be booed. Now, I don't necessarily think the boos will be as strong when he comes out in the second half to play because everybody's kind of ready for it, and it's a preseason game. But let me tell you this. Throw an air ball, throw a worm burner, miss an open receiver, you're going to hear it. Because I'm telling you, the leash on this guy with the fan base is about, I don't even know you can see that. That's how long the leash is. No one's putting up with this again. Nobody. And if he goes out there and starts missing receivers, oh my goodness. It's going to be ugly. So I think they will give him a chance. There'll be a smattering of boos as he walks out onto the field in the third quarter. But if he does not play well, if he does not show out, it's going to be bad. The fans will be all over him. So be ready for that. That's my bold prediction. I think Rocket Sanders will have a day. I think you have to, with Judkins hurt, I don't think you're going to play Dylan Sampson too much. I mean, I just can't take that risk. So Rocket and Amani Marshall, I think, should take over the backfield and give them a shot, man. Let them go mano a mano. But I think Rocket will get it together, man. He'll have himself a nice game. And then I think the Browns defense is still going to look a little bit rough because the starters aren't going to be out there. And we saw what happened last week when the starters went out. I mean, there's just You get past now you got Alex Wright gone. I was saying you get past the first, on the defensive side, 15 or 16 guys, and it starts to get dicey. And now you got to think about protecting these guys, man. You got to keep these starters off the field, man. You got to keep them in bubble wrap on the defensive side. Nobody cares about a crummy preseason game. And so I think the defense is going to be this might be a high-scoring preseason game. There's a bold prediction for you. I think get on Kelce and take the over. I do. I think both these teams will be resting a lot of their ones on both sides of the ball, and I think Shedeur will take advantage. I think that Buffalo will be able to score some points on our backups as well. So I'm gonna have to put that in. I think I'm gonna put that in. Take the over. Now look at that number. I mean, it can't be that, man. We're at home. You want the quarterbacks to look good. You're not gonna take your foot off the gas, right? Preseason game. Who cares? Run it up, Monk. Come on, Monk. Run it up. We got Kelce. We gotta win some Kelces. So now, what's always a winner for us each and every day on this show are the viewer comments, and we'll start with Ref Social Ebb, who says, Grizzer, when you report on the tracker from Bill's joint practice, make sure to correct it with 2 touchdowns for Shedeur, not 0. Well, Ref, I told you in the comments, I said, how about we do this? I'll use your comment, and then we'll get it out there, and we'll let everybody know that Shedeur had 2 touchdowns. But the problem is, these guys run into the end zone, but in a game, they would have most likely been tackled. That's why Boston had the one on the sideline. He made the catch, and he turned and run up the field. So that's why they don't count some of these as touchdowns, because they look at it and say, well, he more than likely would have been tackled by somebody. Because they don't remember, we went over what happens in joint practices. Yes, it's live to a point. The quarterbacks don't get hit. And you don't stick people, they're just kind of thud. They bump the running back, but it's live up until that point. Can you tell I did a game last night? Had Avon St. Ignatius, and of course it was a barn burner. Came down to 14 seconds, a 2-point conversion, won it. Great game on the Ohio Sports Network. I'll put some clips on X, Grizzer21, if you want to see some clips. You can watch the game. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. Fox 8 app. I mean, I don't know. It's all over. But Lance Riesland and I had to call. Gabriela Cruz was on the sidelines for us. But now, day after doing a game, remember my voice. All right, Frederick Robinson, 9502. Quarterback must be able, this is what we teased at the top. Quarterback must be able to consistently and accurately throw the long pass. And he means over 10 yards. To stretch the field. Never in the history of the game has a team won the Super Bowl by throwing check down passes. And that's why I think you're going to see a lot of over the top against the Bills on Saturday afternoon, because it's going to be a lot of backups out there. And this will be a good game to practice some of that. Let's start chucking it around the yard a little bit. Let's see what we got, Frederick. I'm with you. Randy Graham, 7083. I'd rather fail with Shedeur than see Watson on the field. There is just no benefit to having Watson start, even if he plays somewhat well, which he won't. It does nothing for the future. That's the thing. It's like playing somewhat well. It's just not it. You got to be darn near perfect every single game for us to care. That's it. I'm with you, Randy. I mean, I've been saying it all along. If they're close, go with the Utes. J.L. Visions. There was never a close gap. Shedeur is better, plain and simple, and Judy should be benched. Judy, man, his targets are not going to be with. So don't worry about that. So hopefully less cars on the road, less accidents. So less passes thrown to Jerry Judy, less drops. So we'll have that, because they have to know, man. They have to notice. CB3347, and I completely agree with this. The biggest disappointment this training camp has to be the disappearance of Joe Royer. I was so excited. He's got better stats than Travis Kelce at Cincinnati. Catches everything. He's the contested catch guru. That's how his tight ends coach described him, man. He never met a contested catch he didn't like. Man, that hurt. And it's killing our depth now, man. Because if guys like Whiteheart and some of these other guys that have been around for a while, if they were really good, they would hold on to the job. That's where we're at. We'll end today with 51 STL. Is that for St. Louis? 51-STL says, like Eazy-E said, we want Grizzy. Well, I really appreciate that, 51, but Eazy-E said we want Easy. And Browns fans want Easy too. That's all we want in Cleveland. We want Easy, like what Buffalo had. We want a quarterback that you don't have to worry about anymore. We want Easy at the quarterback position. That's what we want. 51, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the kind words. All right, that'll do it for today's show. Prediction pen. All right, one day a week and it works. We'll be here tomorrow before the game. We'll do a little bit of something. That game, we'll watch it, and then we'll break it all down on Sunday. Big weekend ahead. All right, go Browns. We'll see you next time.